Sara, Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Radha Madhava Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajacanaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jai Kunja Bihari Yashodanandana Brajacanaranjana Yamuna Vanachari Jai Kunja Bihari Yashodanandana Brajacanaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jai Kunja Bihari Yashoda Brajacanaranjana Yamunatira Shari Jai Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe Radha Madan Radhe Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol धर्म श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय संवेद गौर भक्तवृंद की ताय गौर प्रेमानंदे ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 5, chapter 1, the activities of Maharaj, Maharaj Priyavrata, text number 2. Nanunam mukta sanganam tadrishyanam tvijarshabha griheshu abhiniveshoyam pumsham bhavitam arhati. Nanunam mukta sanganam tadrishyanam tvijarshabha गृहेषु अभिनिवेशोऽयं पुंसां भवितुमर्हति. ननूनं मुक्तसङ्गानां तदृशानां दिदर्शभ गृहेषु अभिनिवेशोऽयं पुंसां भवितुमर्हति. Word-to-word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Word-to-word meaning, na, not, nunam, certainly, mukta sanganam, who are free from attachment, tadrishanam, such, didarshraba, O greatest of the Brahmanas, Yeshu, to family life, Abhinivesha, excessive attachment, Ayam, this, Pumsham, of persons, Bhavitum, to be, Arhati, is possible. Translation: Devotees are certainly liberated persons. Therefore, O greatest of the Brahmanas, they cannot possibly be absorbed in family affairs. Purport: In Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, it is said that by executing devotional service to the Lord, one can understand the transcendental position of the living being and the Supreme Personality Godhead. The Supreme Personality Godhead cannot be understood by any means except bhakti. The Lord confirms this in Srimad Bhagavatam 11.14.21. Bhaktyaham ekaya grahya. Only by executing devotion service can one appreciate me. Similarly, in Bhagavad Gita 18.55, Lord Krishna says, Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Simply by discharging devotion service, one can understand me. Thus, for a bhakta to become attached to family affairs is impossible, since a bhakta and his associates are liberated. Everyone is searching after ananda or bliss, but in the material world there can never be any bliss. It is only possible in devotional service. Attachment for family affairs and devotional service are incompatible. Therefore, Maharaj Parikshit was somewhat surprised to hear that Maharaj Priyavrata was simultaneously attached to devotional service and to family life. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadramai, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Salakaya चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमा ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरस्वे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुल्लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपः तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरून् दीनतारिणम्। So I seek the blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas, especially His Grace Anandamai Prabhu, so that I can speak on this verse to glorify the Lord and for the purification of my heart. So in this particular section we are seeing that Maharaj Parikshit is surprised at how Priyavrata Maharaj he has heard from Narada Muni about devotional service of the Lord, and he himself is a great soul. So how come he has become absorbed in family affairs? In the previous verse also it is mentioned that how can such a self-realized devotee of the Lord remain in household life, which is the root cause of bondage of fruitive activities and which defeats the mission of human life. So in the Varnashram Dharma, we see that only in the Grahastha Ashram there is association of women, and also in the Vanaprastha Ashram, maybe with the wife traveling to holy places. But ultimately, even if somebody from Brahmacharya takes to Grahastha Ashram, ultimately he has to become detached from family life, sannyas. Or somebody who's right from beginning only detached can continue as a brahmachari. So because the household life is mentioned, as mentioned in these verses, it's mentioned how it is filled with fruity activities and its bondage. So as we hear also, pumsastriya mitanu bhavametam tayor mito hriday granti mahu ato grah kshetra sutapta vitir janasya mohoyam aham mameti. So the family life, when wife and husband come together through sex life, the knots in the heart become harder and harder, and one's attachment to one's body, then one's wife, children, household things, all this gradually increases. So actually one's main form of life is meant for absorption in devotional service of the Lord. So instead of absorbing one's mind in devotional service, one's mind gets absorbed in all these things. Huh? So that's why here Parikshit Maharaj is saying that already he is a self-realized soul and heard from Narada Muni, still why he is absorbed in this family affairs. So in the purport, Prabhupada is initially talking about the importance of devotional service, how only by devotional service one can understand the Supreme Lord. And then Prabhupada is talking about how devotional service and sense gratification, Krishna consciousness and sense gratification go ill together. So, as Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also says, and as Prabhupada is also quoting Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto, Bhaktyaham ekaya grahya. Only by devotional service one can know Krishna. So Prabhupada many times quotes that Bhaktyamam abhijanati. It's not by yoga mam abhijanati or jnana mam abhijanati that one can understand Krishna. Only by the process of devotional service one can understand Krishna as he is. So we see that the Jnanis, they try to study the Vedic literatures on their own and try to come to the conclusion. So we hear a pastime where Srila Prabhupada met few Vedic scholars in the Vrindavan temple and he was asking them who is the Supreme Lord. So they were not able to tell. They were telling this and that. So then Prabhupada called a Kurukuli boy and he asked, who is the Supreme? So he immediately said, Krishna is the Supreme Personality Godhead. So Prabhupada gave him Sandesh and the boy ran away. So Prabhupada said that, see, even a small boy in our organization knows who is the Supreme Lord. And you have been studying this scriptures for so long, still you are not understanding. So we see that these people, they try to speculate by studying the scriptures on their own. The difference between bhaktas and jnanis and yogis is that the bhaktas, the devotees of the Lord, they depend on Krishna. Whereas the yogis and jnanis, they depend on themselves. So because they are not under the divine shelter of the Lord, they are not protected. So we see in the yogis also, we see so many examples from the scriptures. Like Vishwamitra Muni, he wanted to also become powerful like Vasishta, and he was trying to attain powers by the yogic practice. And we see that he could not control his senses. So, because of lust, then anger, and false ego, in various ways, he actually fell down, right? But finally, he also realized that only Lord can protect me. Then he eventually became a devotee. Same way in the pastime of Ambarish Maharaj and Durvas Muni, also we see that Durvas Muni was a great yogi, very powerful, so much that he could travel anywhere and he could also produce a very fearful demon, very powerful demon to kill King Ambarish. And Ambarish Maharaj was not yogi, but he was a devotee of the Lord, fully taking shelter of Lord's lotus feet. So, we know the pastime how when Durvas Muni got offended, he felt that he took Charnamrit without taking his permission. So we know that how he sent the demon to kill him. So that time King Ambarish, he was not at all affected. He just stood there praying to the Lord, depending on the Lord. So then we see that how Sudarshan Chakra destroys the demon and starts chasing Durvas Muni. So although he went all over the universe, still he could not protect himself. So finally we know that Lord Vishnu tells that you should go and ask forgiveness from Ambarish Maharaj. Then only you will be forgiven. So we see that even in that pastime that how the devotional service of the Lord is superior to all the yogic practices or all the gnanis or the bhaktas, because they depend on the Lord. They are fully protected by the Lord. So also we see in the pastime of when Krishna was invited by Duryodhan for a feast, so he arranges so many items for Krishna, cooked by the expert cooks. So, but Krishna, he doesn't go to his house, his palace, but he goes to the house of Vidura. So there we see that uh, actually Vidura has not invited Krishna. In the sense, he didn't invite him for lunch. Duryodhana actually has invited him. But still Krishna went to Vidura's house. So I was once asking some devotees that why do you think that Krishna went to uh, Vidura's house even without invitation? Whereas Duryodhana is inviting, but still Krishna is not going. So one devotee gave a nice answer. He said, although Duryodhana invited him, but actually his heart was closed for Krishna. Whereas Vidura actually he didn't invite, but his heart was always open for Krishna, right? And Krishna is actually seeing the devotion, right, of his devotees. So he is attracted by the devotion of his devotees. So, and we see that when he goes to Vidura's house, Vidura was not there, and Vidurani was there, and she offered the banana peel to Krishna, and still Krishna accepted it because it was offered with love and devotion. So, so Krishna actually, they said that he is hungry for the love of his devotees. So he wants to have that loving relationship with his devotees. So that's what in the spiritual world, the devotees of the Lord, they have eternal loving relationship with Krishna. So that is what actually satisfies us. So it's not that Krishna wants something from us. So by rendering devotional service, we only get benefited. So by Prabhupada's mercy, actually we are getting this opportunity to render devotional service. So we may not understand the value of what we are actually doing sometimes. Sometimes people, those who try to understand Krishna or the Supreme Lord by studying Vedas or by various other practices and means, they waste so many lifetimes, right? So still they don't understand or they don't come to the right conclusion. So, but we are fortunate that that by Prabhupada's mercy, actually we are coming to the right conclusion very easily. So another thing which is being mentioned here, that how one who is a devotee of the Lord, he doesn't become attached to the family affairs. To become attached to family affairs is impossible for a bhakta. So, and here Prabhupada is telling that everyone is searching for bliss. In material world, there is no bliss. So, it is said that there are 4 types of intelligence. The first type is that you understand just by hearing. The second type intelligence is you understand by hearing and seeing. Third is you understand by hearing, seeing, and experiencing oneself. The fourth is that one hears, sees, experiences, but still he doesn't understand, realize. Still he commits the mistake. So the brahmacharis are meant to be in the first 2 intelligence at least. They understand that by hearing and by actually seeing in this world that how this material world is miserable, how one may get entangled by doing sense gratification. So by hearing from scriptures and sadhus, one actually detaches oneself from the sense gratification of this world. But somebody doesn't realize like that, okay, one may take to the Grahastha ashram, and where one actually experiences sense, one does sense gratification, and but one has to actually realize the Grahastha ashram also gradually one should realize that how the sense gratification is miserable, temporary, and one is supposed to eventually go to Vanaprastha and Sannyasa ashram. But as it is mentioned here, because the Grihastha ashram is filled with lot of fruity activities and filled with sense gratification, so one may get entangled, one may forget Krishna. So actually we see in the pastime of Priyavrata also that initially based on the instructions of Narada Muni, he was practicing devotion service, and after many years he was requested by Swayambhu Manu to get married and become the king. So he was not willing, but because of being requested by Brahma and all, so finally he agrees. But when he gets married and starts taking care of the kingdom, he actually gets entangled. But because he rendered this service based on the instructions of no all great souls, so that's why he was actually protected. But still we see that he got entangled for some time. So that's why it is mentioned that how Grahastha ashram, one should be very careful. So it is said that in spiritual, in the Grahastha ashram, there is a nice statement. One devotee was telling that in between the couple there should be divine couple. Means in family life one should always keep Krishna in the center of one's family life. Then one can actually be Krishna conscious. Because generally otherwise what will happen that one will forget Krishna and one will only keep one's own self and his own needs in the center of one's life. So we see like uh, devotees sharing this story of the family of Lord Shiva. In the family of Lord Shiva, we see that Lord Shiva has his vehicle is bull. Then Mother Parvati's lion. Then Lord Ganesh, yeah. Then we have Kartikeya, peacock. So one devotee is telling that, and also we see that there is snake uh, also with Lord Shiva in the neck. So one devotee is telling that if you actually park all these vehicles, then some may be missing. Ideally, right? Snake may eat away rat and things like that may happen, or lion may attack bull. So, but we see that still in the family of Lord Shiva, everyone, including their vehicles, are cooperating with each other and happily situated. So, because Lord Shiva is always absorbed in Krishna consciousness, so he himself is always meditating on Lord Sankarshan, rendering devotional service. So, in a family where one keeps Krishna in the center, so whatever we keep in the center of our lives, we actually absorb those vibrations. So generally, in a house, people actually keep a big TV screen, right? So, but ideally, one should keep the altar of the Lord in the center of the house. So, morning when they wake up, we should actually worship the Lord. Do perform arti. We give agarbatti and lamp and various other items to the Lord. So by worship, by keeping the Lord in the center of our lives, we actually serve Lord and no, the holy vibrations of Lord, the mercy of the Lord, that is filled in our minds. But now instead of that, the houses, it is replaced by television or mobile. So then people, instead of focusing on Lord, they are focusing on all this material sense gratification. So their minds are filled with all this sense gratification. So as Prabhupada is mentioning, that everybody is searching for happiness, bliss in this world. But in material world, it is not possible. So as Prabhupada gives the analogy that we are like a fish in the river. So the fish in the river is happy in the river. But when you put outside, it can never be happy. No matter how much you may provide, no, you may provide TV or ice cream or whatever, still the fish is not happy. So in similar way, the soul can never experience happiness in sense gratification of this world. The soul is spirit, and we are trying to enjoy with the matter, which is incompatible. You cannot experience happiness through matter. So actually, the soul is part and parcel of Krishna, and it is eternally no, connected to Krishna. Jivere Swarupoi Krishna Nityadas. So, in developing love in relationship with Krishna, actually one is happy. So now one may have a question that why Krishna made us like that? That only by serving him that we can be happy. Somebody may say maybe Krishna is selfish, that he has arranged that only if we serve him we can be happy. Somebody may think that no, he is like a dictator. He is saying that you serve me, then only you will be happy, otherwise you will have to suffer. So, but actually, we understand that Krishna is all attractive. The word Krishna itself means all attractive. So, we want to experience happiness in this world. So, we are attracted by various opulences: beauty, wealth, fame, knowledge, right? And we think that by acquiring those things, we'll be happy, right? But in the things and people of this world, they are all temporary and illusory. It's not permanent. So even if you try to enjoy them, it is temporary. You lose and it's illusory. It's actually, it doesn't belong to them. But Krishna is all attractive. He is Bhagavan. He is the source of all six opulences. He is eternally having the six opulences fully. So when you have loving relation with Krishna, you can actually experience the highest bliss because he is all attractive. Right? So no one can attract us more than Krishna. So the soul can actually experience loving relationship or eternal happiness only by serving Krishna. So the soul can only benefit. In the sense, it's for the benefit of the soul that Krishna has arranged like that. It's not that Krishna wants to exploit the living entities by engaging in his service. It's the soul which is actually getting benefited. So we should understand that by rendering devotional service to the Lord, we actually will get that eternal happiness which we are actually hankering for in this world. So that's why we see that when we develop a higher taste, Visha Vinivartante Niraharasya Dehina Rasavarjam Rasopyasya Param Drishtva Nivartate. So when you develop a higher taste in devotional service of the Lord, slowly but surely we give up the lower taste of this world. So as Prabhupada is mentioning, attachment for family affairs, devotional service are incompatible. As Prabhupada also says, Krishna consciousness and sense gratification go ill together. So actually one sign of devotional service, Prabhupada mentions that Bhakti Parishana Bhavarit Viraktir Anatrasya. So one symptom that one is making advancement in devotional service is that he has to naturally develop detachment from the things or the sense gratification of this world. So, if that is not happening actually, then we should understand that we are not rendering devotional service properly, right? So, just like if you take a medicine properly, the whatever disease has to go away, right? Bhavarog. So, similarly, when we render devotion service, which is the medicine for the conditioned souls, the sense gratification mentality has to reduce and ultimately it has to go away. So, the problem is not with devotion service, problem is with us. So, when we don't render devotion service properly, then still these material attachments remain. So, we should develop that higher taste. So, how we can develop higher taste? So, once His Holiness Rompad Swami Maharaj was telling that in devotional service, also we have certain, we like to render some particular aspects of devotional service where we actually develop higher taste. Not Mahaprasadam. I have higher taste for. Yeah, that also is there. But apart from that, in the sense where we actually feel deep shelter of the Lord, where we actually uh, like to render that more and more. Like somebody likes to hear or somebody likes to read Prabhupada books more and more, where one experiences shelter of Lord. So those activities we should do more and more so that we can experience that higher taste. So then sense gratification becomes very, means we understand that it is insignificant and temporarily illusory. So otherwise, if one doesn't render devotional service of the Lord sincerely, actually one's sense gratification mentality keeps increasing. So that's why here Parikshit Maharaj is surprised that how come he is a self-realized soul and still in no household affairs attached. It is not possible. It should not be like that. So, in similar way, we see that uh, externally sometimes we are rendering devotional service through our body and externally through our various activities. But internally, we see that our mind is actually not a devotee, right? Mind is always dragging us to various aspects of sense gratification. So, from that, we should understand that actually we have not internalized Krishna consciousness, right? Only with the body, with the senses, we are trying to do uh, these various activities, but our mind is not absorbed in Krishna consciousness. So, until we put our heart in the devotional activities, actually we cannot spiritualize the mind. So, just because our body, the physical, this body is in temple hall or rendering the various devotional service activities, doesn't mean that our heart and mind is there. So, only when we actually value or understand the glory of devotional service, we can put our heart. So, as Radheshampur says, if you are casual in devotional service, you will be a casuality, right? So, means there could be some fall downs. So, that's why not only we should render devotional service with this body, but we should also absorb our mind in the devotional activities. We should put our heart. So, like for example, while chanting, we may be chanting with our mouth, right? But our mind may be wandering all over the world because mind is still attracted to sense gratification or various material desires of this world. So then, yes, we are rendering some devotional service, but we don't make much progress. Still, our mind is attached to sense gratification. So then we should actually hear the glories of holy name more and more. Understand that how abhinatvam nam namino. The holy name and Krishna are non-different. and how we are getting an opportunity to receive Lord through the holy name into our heart by chanting. So we understand the value, the importance, the glories, then we'll actually take it more seriously. Otherwise, generally we see that as we grow, we take everything very cheaply. We do it very mechanically for namesake. So then it doesn't have so much impact on our hearts. So dharma swanishtita pumsham vishwakshena katashet notpade adiratim shama eve kevalam. So even devotion service of the Lord, if you do it very mechanically without putting our heart, it can become Shamaya Kevalam. If you no, even though one may keep chanting, as we hear this verse that Bhajanma kari yadi Shravana Kirtan Tabutane Pai Krishna Pade Premadan. Even if you chant for many millions of lifetimes, but if you commit offenses while chanting, then you will never attain Krishna Prem. So we may think that, oh, I am chanting for so many years or rendering devotional service for so many years. So where is Krishna, or where is no love of Godhead? Still I am attracted by the sense gratification of this world. Yeah, because we are not actually working on the offenses, avoiding the 10 offenses very diligently. We are not putting our heart in devotional activities. So a devotee should be very, very alert while rendering devotional service. So recently, His Grace Radha Gopinath Prabhu was telling 3 A's. There is activity with the body, there is absorption of the mind, and alertness of intelligence. So with the body, we are rendering devotional activities, but the mind should also be absorbed in devotional service, and intelligence should be alert to discriminate what is Maya and what is Krishna. Then actually we can gain full benefit. So every day we spend, like devotees spend 4-5 hours in morning program. Suppose we are doing activity by being in Mangalarti or chanting, hearing Bhagavatam, but suppose mind and intelligence is not there, mind is wandering, intelligence is weak, then actually those 4-5 hours we are just there physically, but not actually getting benefited. We are not absorbing the mercy of the Lord. So we actually gain very less. Although every day we may be rendering devotion service, physically, externally, but internally only Krishna knows what is happening. Everyone may think, oh, he is great soul, he is every day attending Mangalarti or doing so many devotional activities. But only Krishna knows what is actually, Guru Krishna knows what is happening. We may not be absorbed only. We may be attached to so many other things of this world. So that's why absorption and alertness with the mind and intelligence is very, very important. So that absorption can come only when we are attracted by the Lord's qualities, and also His glories, hearing His glories and His mercy in our lives. So we can actually become more and more attracted and become attached to the Lord. Then there is absorption. Why, how the mind can get absorbed? Only when you are attracted and attached, no? Now our mind is attracted and attached to sense gratification. So in sense gratification, we are easily absorbed. Like while honoring prasadam, nobody may sleep. Right? We have never seen anybody sleeping while honoring prasad. But when it comes to chanting or other devotional activities, we are sleeping. Why? Because there is no absorption. Right? But in sense gratification, there is full absorption, full attention. Right? So, so we should think that actually this is causeless mercy of the Lord, the opportunity to render devotion service. Unfortunately, we take it very lightly. When we get something very easily, the conditioned soul's tendency is also to take it very cheaply. Actually, we are not qualified to get this opportunity. It's Prabhupada's causeless mercy, Acharya's causeless mercy. But because we got it so easily, we are also taking it very cheaply. So then we cannot make much progress. There will be very slow progress. Many lifetimes it will take. But if we take it very, very seriously to heart, how, and also we should be grateful for it, then we will take it very seriously and absorb that mercy. So it is very important that we prepare our heart to receive the mercy of the Lord. So it is said that gratitude makes our heart fertile. Just like the soil has to be fertile before you sow the seed. Same way, before you actually sow the seed of bhakti in your heart, every day we are chanting holy names, we are hearing Bhagavatam. But if the heart is not fertile, actually you are not planting the seed of bhakti, or you are not actually watering that. The seed of bhakti is planted by Guru Krishna, it is given, but actually the hearing process is compared to watering. So that watering is not happening. So if you don't water the seed, it will never grow. So on top of it, we are watering on the weeds. Puja la pratishta. So more than devotional creeper, the weeds may grow. Like if a gardener, he goes to garden and he just pours water here and there. He doesn't pour on the root or on the seed where he has planted. Then over a period of time, the other plants will grow. The grass, weeds, that particular plant which he has kept, that will not grow because he is pouring here everywhere. So same way when we are chanting or hearing, actually it is like pouring water on the seed of bhakti. But actually instead of focusing on taking shelter of Lord, we are taking shelter of temporary illusory things of this world. So we are not actually pouring water on the seed of bhakti. So other things are growing, right? The seed of bhakti is not growing. So externally we may think that I am growing because I am practicing from so many years. But actually internally nothing is happening. Nothing means actually on top of it we may actually the weeds may be increasing, right? So that's why we see that sometimes somebody is practicing for many years, suddenly he falls. He's practicing for so many years. Why he has actually fell down? Because he has not actually watered the seed of bhakti properly. The weeds have grown and ultimately taken over him. Right? Those anarthas actually attacked him and he fell down. So the external form of the devotional activities, we are rendering that, but then our mind also should be absorbed while rendering devotional service of the Lord. Then only we are watering the seed of bhakti. So Srimad Bhagavatam helps us to understand more and more the glories of the Lord and His devotees, so that we become more and more attracted by the Lord, by His causeless mercy. So then only we become attached to the Lord. Then only we can be absorbed. So to the degree we are attracted and attached to the Lord, to that degree only our mind is absorbed in devotional service. So if our mind is not absorbed, then we should understand that, oh, actually I don't have any attachment to Lord. I am still attached to sense gratification only. Right? So that way a devotee should actually seriously introspect, and he should try to change, transform himself by taking shelter of Lord more sincerely. So we'll end here. It's already late. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samveta Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai.